Hey y'all, hey. So welcome back to another session of Meditations with Marigny. And I gotta get used to I gotta remember to bring my selfie stick with me. I've tried to put me together a little packet that would have like my mic and the connection for my phone, and I gotta remember the selfie stick. So today I left it, but I walked outside of one of my buildings and I just wanted to have a really pretty um, background, and I thought I would walk over here to just chat with you guys for a moment. And today I kind of want to talk to you about transitions and transactions. And I'm thinking about the summertime is a good time that a lot of people make transitions. It's a time where people move from one location to the other. It's not as evasive because if you have children, you're able to move them from one school to the next without interrupting their school year. And yes, it does maybe cause some disruption within the home because you're going to be uncomfortable and you have to, go through the process of probably living out of boxes and things of that sort. But the transition is typically a good one. Typically, when people are having to move and they're getting a new job or something like that, it's a good thing. And so I kind of want to relay that back to relationships. Sometimes in relationships, we have to be prepared for the transitions that will take place. And not just in relationships with people, but even relationships with jobs and um, associations. And like for me, I participate in several community groups and things of that sort. And sometimes those groups and those relationships run their season. Perhaps you're with that organization for a period of time and it is good for you to be with them. Your knowledge base is something that is helpful for that team. And then there comes a time where you are, it's time for you to move on to the next phase of your life and what you're doing. And so I really wanted to just give you some time to think about what transitions do you have in place right now? And how are you managing those things? I'm embarking upon some things that, kind of when I look at it for the summer in my mind, I'm like, man, this is a lot. Like it's a lot of movement for me. And then I have to really think about it and say, well, I can handle it. Like I'm prepared for it. I'm pretty organized. And if I pull myself together, it's going to be a really tight schedule. My son has some baseball tournaments that are in the travel um, connection. And so I'm trying to manage that and work with my other son with making sure that we both have a schedule that we can manage what is getting ready to come down the pipeline. But it's going to be a good thing because that transaction and that transition is going to help me to stay very organized for the next phase of where I'm going. And when we think about transactions, sometimes we have to look at what preparation are we making for the transactions that are to come forth. Like, what are we doing to prepare ourselves for the transition? Right now, you guys know I've talked about my house being a blended home for family, and my niece and I were walking last night. We took a walk in the neighborhood, and it was really good because she walks really fast, and I was like, girl, you gonna help me, to go and get these last 5 pounds that I was trying to work off. And but we were talking about her transition. She's in school right now. I'm in school right now. We were talking about the whole single parenting process and how we are helping one another with these processes. And I will say that many families may have to come back together for some transactions in order for their transitions to be a positive response. And when you look at that from a family perspective, it is always better. She and I were talking about how we are supporting one another. And like sometimes she comes in and she cooks dinner, and sometimes I come in and I cook dinner, and we can kind of feed off of each other, knowing that, she's in school and she's coming in late at night. So a lot of times I try to have dinner ready for she and her boys, and she would do the same for me and mine. But how do you then transition that over into your relationships? Making sure that you are able to understand what capacity that you bring to the table for your team. And so sometimes it's not always, I hear everybody talking about the 50-50, 50-50, 50-50. Well, in my opinion, it's really 100-100. It's not 50-50, because if I'm with somebody, what's mine is his and what's his is mine. And we work together. Did I say that right? What's mine is his. Yeah. And what's his is mine. I tease a lot. And sometimes I say what's yours is mine and what's mine is mine, you know. So I wanted to make sure I didn't say it in a selfish way. But, you know, in other words, there is no, to be honest, there is no 50-50 relationship. It's 100-100. If I got it, he got it. If he got it, I got it. And if I don't have that type of relationship, then we're not making a transaction that's going to get us to the transition anyway. And I just think that as we look at the summer and things transitioning, like I love this time of year. It's not too hot. I absolutely love the outdoors. I think if I could, I would build an office onto the back of my house, like a porch or something. And I would really, you know, do most of my things out there when the weather is like this. It's a beautiful day. It's nice and breezy. But I'm saying all of that to just remind you, don't get caught up in the little things. Make sure that you are making preparation for the things that you need to do. Cleaning out, cleaning up, and cleaning out. I am getting ready to get rid of some things. And one decision that I made is that if I haven't looked at it in 4 or 5 years, I'm not going to look at it. It's going to get thrown in the dumpster. And when that dumpster comes, all the stuff that has been a blockage in my life is going out. What do you have in your life that you're holding on to? And you think that it has a sense of value to you, but right now it's just holding up space. And that's down to people as well. It could be things, it could be stuff, but it could also be people. Are you holding yourself up from a job that could be your dream job because you're afraid to step away from the one that you're already on? Are you afraid to, you know, take the risk of filling out the application for school because you failed previously and you feel like they're going to deny you? But you never did fill out the application, so you don't even know whether or not it would be a yes or a no anyway. And then sometimes, just with me having worked in admissions, sometimes a no is not a solid no. The no might be, it's a no, but we need for you to take these 2 classes. And then if you pass those 2 classes, then it's a yes. So don't allow previous things that have happened in your life to stop you from making the transitions and the transactions that you need to make. Understand that we are in a season right now. I believe that from a spiritual perspective, that there is a movement within the earth realm that God has already released in the spirit realm, that people who are walking out their divine destiny, we are making the proper connections with the people that we're supposed to be with. And those seasons are coming to full effect. And if you are in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the transactions and the transitions that you're supposed to be making, then guess what? You'll be in position to connect with those people that you are supposed to connect with in order to help you with those transactions and those transitions. So that's just my tidbit for today. I took my little 15-minute break and came out to take a walk. And I'll just say that if you enjoy my videos, I would love for you to click like. I would absolutely love if you would share it with a friend. And if you don't mind, I would truly appreciate it if you would subscribe. Thank you again for checking out Meditations with Marigny. Have a good day, y'all.